Hey everyone, and welcome to Gadael Zoo, a brand new series in Parkitect Sandbox mode here on my channel. Just right away, it will definitely step into the place of the Let's Play series. For a while now, I was so tempted to finally start a real creative sandbox, because that's what's just suiting me the most, right? And to be completely honest, I was missing the creative outlet I had in Parkitect. And I think while the Let's Play was really good to get the hang of the game and to, get everything, every possibility that the game offers, it was about the right time now to go and make the move, because I feel I can still play the scenarios on my own. I can play them in stream, I can play them whenever I want, but this really is the stuff you guys want to see, and this is actually also the stuff that I want to create, so I think that's a perfect match, right? However, this series will be a bit different though. As you know me, I'm always striving for searching for something that is kind of new, that kind of challenging for me, and that kind of is a little bit leaping outward or out of what everyone else is doing. Not necessarily because of doing it differently, but because it, I want to make sure that I don't really copy too much from others and I'm not too much influenced by others. So I always search also for an alternative that makes me have a challenge on my own. I guess that's how I want to put it. And you will see me doing a lot of different stuff in today's video. However, the process for a first episode is pretty dope. But let me just first explain to you what this series is about. So as you can see, the name of the series is Gadael Zoo, which means we are working on a zoo-ish park. However, you might want to know, or you might know, that Parkitect does not have animals or whatnot. Maybe in the future we'll get them. But yeah, I'm so hyped for Planet Zoo, obviously, that I'm always trying to build a zoo, it seems. But no, actually this was the kind of creative outlet I wanted to create to myself. We are working with an abandoned zoo that has been turned into a theme park, because the zoo, because of different reasons we might want to talk about in the future as well, but the zoo couldn't keep up. Maybe because it was treating the animals not the way they should be treated, but also because of financial issues and stuff. So the owner had been changed, and the new owner of the park decided to make it actually a theme park, which then leads us to working on enclosures, or like abandoned enclosures, and just pretending that this has been a zoo at one day, which I found to be a very challenging thing to do. And yeah, I hope that you guys will find this as exciting as I do, because this clearly goes into what I wanted to do in my bucket list in terms of YouTube series, and I think it's a perfect match to do this in Parkitect, and just enabling us to create some more stuff in less amount of videos. I guess that's basically the good thing about Parkitect. However, I want to say that this first episode always is important to set the style of an episode of a whole series. And I feel that this really goes in and shows exactly where we're going. So that's really, I'm super happy with the result of it. I'm super proud about what I've achieved in this episode, to be honest, because I've seen so much great stuff. Like, obviously Sylph is just purely awesome in that game. I mean, partly because he's also been creating all the scenarios, or not all of them, but many of the scenarios. Also, $2.20, he's awesome at the game. Like, I love his series, to be honest. And also, obviously, Yonti is also not that bad at the game, to put it that way, and a lot of other creators that are really good, and also what the kind of stuff you can find on the Steam Workshop. It's always really good, and I wasn't sure if I can kind of cope with that, and if I can just stay with that level of detail. But I just try to go for it on my own. And as you can see, I'm at the moment building a parking lot, which necessarily isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but for me this was really important, because a zoo, at least as for what I know, has somewhat of a different approach on a parking lot than, for example, a theme park has. And this is why I was changing this parking lot, not changing, but doing this parking lot a little bit differently though. So we are working on this parking lot with these kind of more, I don't even know how to call it. I didn't even know how to call this in German, to be honest. But the parking lots itself is only a little bit of a bare area where you only put these kind of I think it's more like a bee-ish, beehive-ish structure on the bottom, which is only to prevent the ground from getting too uneven, I think, so that cars can still stand on them, but at the end of the day, it still is only dirt and grass in below there, so it's not a concrete plane that you will find with most theme parks nowadays. It's really this kind of old-ish central zoo kind of style. Some stuff, as you can also see from the old cities, SimCity games, for example, when you put down a zoo. This was also some of the inspiration I got here. And maybe I should just clarify, this theme of a zoo is more like a very Central European approach. It's not really going to be a really crazy safari-ish park approach or whatnot. It's really this kind of very boring standard zoo, if you want. Nothing really out of scope, nothing really exciting in terms of, I don't know, modern approach and with different themed areas, whatnot. No, it's just a pretty simple zoo, and that's why it got bankrupt at a certain point in time. And this is also why it's abandoned, because if it would be something very modern and, you know, very, I don't know, innovative, it kind of wouldn't make sense then to be abandoned, right? So that's why I chose to go with this kind of idea. However, we will have a lot of backstage, because I want to partly use this as well to train myself in how a zoo is layouted for then a proper approach on a zoo, obviously, when Planet Zoo gets released eventually at the end of this year somewhere. I don't know still when, but this is what I'm also working for, or working forward to, I guess. And the thing is that I'm really hoping that this series will also help me understand better how the layout of a zoo works, and this is also why I will definitely need your feedback, guys. I really hope that this series will meet a bit more of excitement in my community, but also maybe I'm able to welcome some new people with the series, I don't know. So it would be highly welcome to have some more opinions on what I'm doing here, and maybe you have some great ideas how to really realize this kind of I don't know, this brave approach on a series, because clearly there's a lack of content to create a zoo. The amount of foliage in the game is not too crazy. It's okay, but it's not really that you can make a very versatile zoo area. So we have to find some solutions for that. But that's kind of part of the challenge and part of the fun, isn't it? You really want to have those challenges. You really want to put yourself some well, you know, artificial but also given limitations that you need to work with, and that kind of hopefully will make you a better creator in the end. And this is what I'm hoping really to get here. As you can see, I'm already trying to start off with creating some sort of backstage road that goes around the zoo. We have this main entrance, kind of little bridge where people are brought to this central plaza that I'm going to tackle right now, and you've also seen that there is a connection via the parking lot. We are clearly having a second parking lot on the other hand side of the zoo, so that we have a parking lot to the left and to the right of the zoo, because I feel like this would make a lot more sense to not only have one, because I'm imagining that this zoo has been located in the center of a city, or maybe in a little town, whatever, but surrounded by simple suburban areas. So nothing like a theme park that is, you know, a bit more out of the city, in an area where there's a lot of land to expand. This is pretty much a zoo that has been grown with the little town, with the city, however you want to call that or put that. But this is the idea about that. Yeah, as you can see now, I'm talking about the foliage just a few seconds ago. This is what this led me to. I was trying to work a little bit better with the colors and just searching for some more stuff on the workshop briefly, but then I turned out there is not too much I can find there. And just working to make this all look a bit more realistic rather than just only neat and tidy. So the idea is really to maintain a somewhat realistic look through the whole thing. I used already those fences to basically fence off the first backstage area, and you will see at the end of this episode how this works together. I'm also going to put some screenshots in to make sure that you guys can really see and tell what I've been doing here, because the time lapse is fairly quick, because I had a blast as always with the first episodes. You have a lot of a lot of speed, a lot of passion. It's most likely a very long episode, so this is always great to set the foundation to a series. But anyways, we are now approaching already the last part of this video. This is all about the entrance building, which gave me a huge struggle, to be honest. I was so much off grid in between, and I really got a struggle to bring this all together. I was starting off the building with only one layer, but then I shortly realized that this will be stupid looking, because the building has to be a bit more steady, a bit more main building-ish, which is really sitting there as an entrance to the zoo, because it's not an entrance to a theme park, obviously. We will eventually turn that into a theme park, what I just said, but the thing is that the main entrance purpose was basically in the past to fulfill the needs of a zoo, which are a little bit different than what a theme park would demand. So you clearly don't have that much of a push through of people like a theme park has, so the entrance doesn't need to handle that many people at once. For example, it's just a normal example. And also zoos also tend to have more entrances than only one big main entrance, so you would also see some side entrances, which not every theme park nowadays has. So maybe they have 2 or so, but you know, that's about it, and they are both pretty much working together pretty well, because they've been layouted in a way that they work together well. But the zoos, mainly, you know, these old kind of zoos that have been created in suburban areas that needed to work with the environment, wanted to make people enjoy the zoo from basically every area around, and that meant they were putting entrances wherever they thought they needed one. So yeah, well, that's kind of the story why there were more entrances. But this is the main entrance of this Gadael Zoo. And Gadael, I should say. The name is still new for me, so please excuse my little mistake over here. Then I found that we do have a working, it's actually a fairground game, but I thought, or midway game, but I thought it looks like a nice ATM, so I was putting it there, just pretending that this is an ATM. However, the last bits of this video is now about putting some detail on, because I clearly wasn't too happy with the looks of it at the very beginning, so I was trying to put some more stuff here and there to make sure that this looks a bit better. And then I was already starting to put some more buildings next to it. As you can see, the idea was already to have only the front a bit nicer themed with the brick wall, and the rest is just plain white walls, which I'm eventually also going to recolor a little bit to a bit more desaturated or grayish, dirty-ish color that makes this whole place look a bit more abandoned, because I still want to maintain a bit of the abandoned look to it, rather than just build the zoo. I'm still having the idea in mind to only make this a fully abandoned zoo with without a ride, but I don't think if that is too exciting for you guys. But please let me know in the comments down below if you think that this could be a cool idea. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see this as a series only building an abandoned zoo, like also kind of trying to make these buildings look really destroyed and abandoned. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. Yeah, so that's about it. I hope you enjoyed today's first episode of this brand new series. Please let me know in the comments down below how you like this. Do you like the approach of building an abandoned zoo? And also, what do you clearly want to see in here? Which kind of enclosure do you think is really badly needed? And yeah, what else? Anyways, if you liked the episode, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of it, make sure to subscribe. And see you in the next one. Bye, guys.